I'm Jen, and I'm here with Cody Clark, and we're gonna play the questions game.
Hi guys.
Um, I know you, but there are people that don't. Do you have a certain cosplay that you're known for?
Well, I'm mainly a Joker cosplayer, so that's probably where I get most of my rap, but I've been slowly introducing other characters to my forte so I don't become a one-trick pony.
Nice, good. What's the best part of cosplay for you?
Um, well, with me, um, it's creating the outfit, the character, and then also so like, doing all that behind the scenes, stitching, sewing, just, watching your progress come to life and bringing this character into the real world rather than just, on books or in a screen. And then also being out there on the floor and just seeing all the, sharing that fandom and just people like, oh my god, I don't have
Yeah.
this kind of like I don't really do this thing, but if I did, I'd totally do it like you. It's very interesting. So there's a lot of fun aspects of
Yeah, definitely. Um, do you want to attend more events, or do you want to keep it local?
it. Well, with the local scene right now, there's not a lot going on. So I mean, you can only reach a certain level before plateauing. So eventually, I may be going towards more bigger cities, more bigger cons, stuff like that. So yeah,
Yeah,
keeping my options open.
good. Yes. Um, I know your cosplays usually involve like heavy makeup and
Mhm.
stuff, like you're really good at the makeup, but as far as the clothes go, do you make your own costumes or do you buy them or are they like already put together?
Well, one of like my favorite things growing up was thrift shopping. Um, it, I started a lot, trying to get like Halloween costumes together and be like, oh, this looks like the tie from this, blah blah blah. Um, and so I would go around, and it'd take like maybe a good whole year to put this suit together to find the right pieces. And is very cost, effective, and then I didn't feel as bad ripping up a brand new suit,
Yeah, yeah.
it's a lot easier
I shredded
to,
a prom dress for a cosplay once, so
yeah,
yeah.
you can understand how that feels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, does it bother you when people know nothing about the series they're cosplaying?
Um, to an extent, I can understand, just like, okay, well, the thing is with like Harley cosplayers,
Yeah,
that
really
is
common.
probably my biggest beef. Um, Not to say that she isn't a great character or anything like that. People are just like, oh, I just want to be this bad girl from this
Yeah,
series that I only watched the movies about, you know. And now the same thing with the new Suicide Squad is only going to further embrace that.
yeah, definitely.
And I don't know. So I think if you want to do something you love, know the in and outs of it, which is kind of saying a lot for me, being a Joker cosplayer, because that's a lot of psyche and all that
Yeah,
bad choo-choo. But
yeah,
um, if it's something you love, you should really take the time to invest in it.
yeah. The thing with Harley cosplayers, I like Harley cosplayers. I like Joker cosplayers, but I hate Harley Joker couple cosplays
Oh
because
God,
it's like, why are
do
you
you
doing
not
this to
understand? This is
yourselves?
a
I
horrible like
know.
relationship.
I hate it.
I'm actually dating a Dual Dent cosplayer, so
Oh, nice.
Joker's
All right.
daughter. So, um,
A little awkward,
she
but
has
cool.
that. Yeah. Well, she's not actually Joker's daughter. It's in a different universe and different Earth. And Three Face, she's the um, daughter of Three Face and Trickster, which is that that Earth's version of the Joker, and he's actually a good guy. And yeah, it's gross. But Dula's powers are, she gets thrown in these different worlds and everything. She's a part of the Teen Titans. She's been Penguin's daughter. So literally, she is cosplaying in the DCU. She's seeing these different, villains out there, and she wants to, the biggest form of flattery is, in what's it called? That word. I love these guys. But it's just oh, I like this character, so I'm going to show my admiration by dressing up like them and whatnot. Um, so she's almost got an infatuation with the Joker herself, and um, Joker's relationship with her is a lot better than Harley's. I just don't think Harley gets it. He's lonely. He's you know past the brink of insanity, and you know, I mean, who doesn't get lonely? So I mean, you have this attractive young woman that you've kind of manipulated over the years and got to know
Yeah.
come by and never leave you alone. Of course, you're gonna like seize that opportunity. That's only human nature. So as crazy as he is, he's still human. He wasn't always like that. Like that's why I love the Killing Joke so much. And but his relationship with Dula is more of just like you're not so bad, and just they just kind of work with each other. He's given her different gags and gifts along the way, like like spray taser full of eels. A lot of campy, corny stuff, but
Yeah, that's the best part, honestly. I
yeah.
really like when you were like, he's a good guy. Gross, but anyway.
Yeah, yeah, gross.
But
I've tried doing heroes, and it's just never. It's not my archetype.
yeah,
My
not
best
as fun.
suggestion to cosplaying is find where you lie in the universe, and which characters you relate to the best, and odds are you're gonna do well in it. I mean, I'm not gonna dress up as like Mercury from Sailor Moon and just totally rock it. Although I could dye my hair a deep blue, maybe.
I think
But
you could, honestly. If she ever goes bad, I guess.
yeah.
Um, does it bother you if someone else is cosplaying the same character as you?
No, I actually admire other people's works. I know there are a few other Joker cosplayers around. I know there's one who always does a bunch of mashups. I saw one at ChaseCon. He was like a post-apocalyptic Joker, so almost like a Mad Max
Oh, nice.
Joker, and I was like, that's cool. We definitely have our own little clique of Jokers, but I try to stay out of that whole let's buddy up, and
Yeah,
that's not me. I'm very almost in a way selfish about it. Like, this is something I do in my spare time. This is something I work hard for, so I want it to
yeah,
be just for me. And if you want to do that, that's cool. I still respect you and everything, but I wanted to keep this as an independent thing. So,
nice, nice.
mhm.
So, as far as pictures go, do you like pose shots or candid shots better?
Um, well, I've noticed, because I do such an iconic character, they want certain poses out
Yeah.
of the book. So, of course, I can't tell you how many times I've done the cover for The Killing Joke, or I've done that. Videos are fun too, which a lot of people don't really do as much.
I would
So,
like
like, I've done for like different skits and stuff. I did Heath Ledger's skit for Genericon, which I think really brings up the level of cosplaying, as in being that character, performing in the way and style of that character as well. So it's just sort of bridging the medias. Um, and I do love candids, because there are sometimes, because the way I do my face, it's so expressionate,
Yeah.
because you don't have those giant smiles or anything. I've kind of done it opposite. I started with the big scars, and they've slowly gone down to the Killing Joke, where he doesn't really have scars or anything, and you just get more out of the whole makeup out of that. So really using the
Yeah.
makeup to its full advantage really helps. So every now and then I'm just like, that candid was amazing. That one, that pose where I was supposed to look like this didn't really turn out the way I wanted it, or vice versa. So,
Nice,
mhm.
nice. How many times do you get to cosplay a year, and do you cosplay casually, like just on your days off, chilling?
Well, if you've noticed, I am actually in a, like, incognito Heath Ledger Joker. Um,
Kind of your look.
the undershirt, and then I thought about wearing the gray jacket, because he did have a gray jacket on underneath the purple trench coat, but I was like, that's too much. I'm gonna keep this casual and just add my own stuff to it. So I have hints here and there, with my normal everyday style, but I also have a work dress code, which is a pain in the butt.
Oh yeah, true.
But because
Gotta throw on one of those.
I usually wear black anyways, dark muted colors, cool colors. You know, art puns, but
Not again. Oh.
yeah.
So yeah, how many times do you get to cosplay a year, approximately?
It depends on the cons. It depends on, how much I have after bills and whatnot, because
Yeah.
cosplaying is,
Expensive.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And my parents are like, why are you spending all your money on this? And I'm like, I could be doing drugs, right?
Yeah, honestly, like,
I'm
chill.
taking this creative, artistic route outside of, my comfort zone, and, my works presented within itself, represented within itself. Um, so that, and then I mean, I have my stat cons, but I don't try to keep it a strict amount. Of course, I do events all over. I'll pop in here, pop in there. I've done grand openings for comic book shops. I've done comic book days. Um, so it honestly depends on what's going around. I mean, Chase Con's got 2 a year now, Generic Con, but then U Albany's also the same date now,
Oh yeah.
or Albacon, which is really dumb because the same like cosplay group that runs the contest and stuff now have to split up, and it's almost
Yeah.
like choosing favorites
I
now.
wonder if they knew. Like, I know there's like a lot of drama in the area with like con scheduling, like some cons
Well,
changing
yeah.
dates to try to compete with others, and it's like, why are you trying to compete?
Yeah.
You're
Well,
all
like
mildly
there's
inexpensive cons.
365 days. You take 2 days out of that for those. And like if you honestly take a calendar and just map it out, you're just like, "Okay, so
Yeah.
we can give people, like a 2-week break or blah blah blah, so you could actually have a strict schedule and be like, "Hey boss, I need these dates off." Rather than
Yeah.
just like, "Oh my god, this one just popped up 2 months,"
This
like
one just popped up. I had
yeah.
to. Yeah, I hate October because that's like con every
Oh
single weekend.
god. Ugh.
Yeah,
Cuz like I
New
was
York,
there
Chase
all 4
Con,
days.
Albany Comic Con. There's like, I know it was like rapid fire cons, and
Yeah.
I was like,
The last
did
half
you
of the
guys plan
year
this?
is
Or I feel like I would space them out just so to get
right.
the maximum amount of people.
Well, also they're wondering they're yeah. Like I said, there's cons like everywhere you go, and it's hard trying to balance that on a limited budget as well.
Yeah.
And if they mark up their tickets, or oh blah blah blah, this is extra money to enter a costume contest.
Yeah, stuff like
That's a
that.
little silly,
Which
I
is
think,
dumb. Yeah, I
personally.
think if you're gonna
Because
have events at your convention,
well, if you're spending, if you really think about it, if you're gonna cosplay, you're already spending a lot of your time and money on that cosplay.
yeah.
So paying even more to enter the cosplay, it just doesn't really make sense. If you have
Are there usually cash prizes, or is it like
no,
just
from the
respect
ones,
of your peers?
um, well, you don't even get like a little trophy or anything. You
Oh
just get like
wow.
these little prizes that I've seen. Um, basically, you get street cred. Is
Yeah, I mean
basically
that's cool, but
right,
yeah,
right, but
I
you
can't
can't
see
really have
charging
a
for it if there's not going to be like a cash
portfolio and there's
prize,
no like actual tracking for it. So
Yeah, just I've won this, this, and this. Yeah.
right, you can literally say just like, oh yeah, Dragon Con, yeah, I got like 4th place, and
There's not really any like.
there's no
Yeah.
hold to that. I mean, I know some pathological liars out there that say they win every con and beat Yaya Han, and I'm like,
Me,
Yaya
obviously.
Khan doesn't even compete anymore, like.
Yeah.
And she just shows up and demands people's money for her signature. Like, but no. Um, so I just feel like cons need to really, it should be more of a community than it is competitive
Yeah.
standard. I mean, you're all gonna grow equally if you space them out. Everybody's trying to worry about dominating the world, and I'm like, you only need to take it one step at a time.
Yeah, honestly, like.
I mean,
Yeah.
NYC didn't get that huge overnight. I mean, granted, it's NYC, but I remember the first year it started, like, not a lot of people really knew about it or anything. So.
Yeah, it was pretty obscure for a while, but I think with the rise of like, comics and The Walking Dead
Yeah.
and stuff like
Well,
that.
that and then like Big Bang Theory too.
Oh,
Ugh.
Big Bang
I
Theory.
hate. I
Thank
honestly
you.
hate Big Bang Theory because they put all of these guys who dress up are
Yeah.
weird, nerdy, and smell
They
bad.
make them the joke. I have no idea why nerds
Yeah.
like the show because they're the joke.
Right. Literally. And people are like, nerds are coming back, and I'm like, no, they're just being made fun of on a grander scale now.
Yeah.
You're not getting it. It's negative attention.
It is.
They made a sitcom out of everyday nerd life, and you're just like, okay, well, people are like, you don't see people making fun of other people at sports. You get your rear
Yeah.
end kicked in if I don't know if we can
You can swear, it's
PG-13.
fine.
Okay, yeah. Like, I mean, you could
You're
go
allowed
up
to
to like,
swear.
be like, Broncos suck, and then you get your ass kicked in, and you're, bleeding on the sidewalk for 3 days.
Yeah.
Like, it's so vicious out there, and, I'm
Would you
just,
go to a con and be like, My Little Pony sucks, and they're gonna
right.
be like, okay, just walk away.
Yeah. And it's like, oh, like, they have a better understanding of
Yeah.
it because they've dealt with it more.
Yeah,
I know.
Ultra
I feel like it's almost a testosterone contest after a while, It's just
Yeah.
like who's got the bigger balls, And I'm just like, guys, no.
I lost track of where I was. Oh yeah. How do you feel about your face being all over the internet?
It gets harder being more modest. I will say that because, just like, oh, this country knows who I am. This country knows who I am. This site featured me like 3 times.
Australia is real.
Yeah, Australia is a real place, guys. Oh my god. It's right next to where they filmed The Lord of the Rings in Hobbit.
No way, this is unbelievable.
Oh my god.
And Australia knows who you are.
It's okay. There was a while where I went to Infinity Con, and I actually didn't dress up as the Joker. I went as Dr. Grant, and at that time I had my Jeep, and it had the Jurassic Park stickers on it, and
cool.
of course I'm driving to a con with a Jurassic Park Jeep, and somebody snapped a pic, and I got tagged in it, and then all my friends shared it, and it was blowing up all over Facebook, and I'm like, you know what? I'm really glad you guys support me through this and everything, and like, it makes me feel like all this work isn't just, ending up in the recesses of a dark abyss,
Yeah.
And I was just like, that really made me feel awesome. I'm not saying I'm awesome, but it made me feel like, I was somebody.
Yeah.
Which is,
cool.
in this world, is really hard to come by nowadays, because you have to be, like, practically born in it to make a difference, And so, I mean, look at the Kardashians. Name one thing they've done actually great.
She cleaned Paris Hilton's closet once. That's what I heard anyway.
Oh, God, I don't know.
I don't really know, honestly.
But I mean, they just exist in the fame and whatever, and I don't really want the fame. I'm doing it for myself. Like, this is something out of the love of my characters and, well, Bob Kane's characters. But, it's just one of those things to just keep tabs on, and just, like, almost view yourself in a third-person perspective to have that grip on reality, so.
Nice. So, okay with pictures on the internet.
Yeah. It's really neat, and, like, hey, Mom, look, I'm doing something with my life that I don't have to go to school for, pay 30 grand a year for, like, 5-6 years for a piece of paper that says I can do something. I'm actually doing something.
Nice. Good job.
Yeah. Not to jab at or get too political about the economic crisis of the United States. The joke our country's become, but...
Do you think there's a point where you are too old for cosplay?
Actually, no. I actually look forward to growing older. As I'm getting older, I'm knowing my jaw and my cheekbones and stuff are becoming more pronounced, and eventually I plan to use those to my advantage. With different stuff. I know, Mike, he's a famous DC cosplayer. He's a famous, Superman cosplayer. I met him at NYC. Great guy. He looks just like the old Alex Ross's Superman. You've probably seen him around. But like literally square jaw, curl, like that curl and everything, like straight out of the book. And he's probably about 45, and he's thinking about retiring and everything. And I'm like, well, good for you. You know, you can't expect to do something for so long and not get tired of it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's life. I mean, I'm already tired of paying bills, and I'm only going to
it
be
sucks.
22 here.
I can't believe
Gross.
this. I mean, you're the only man I know with plans for your cheekbones, so good job on that.
Yeah, well, David Bowie.
Oh, I suppose.
Yeah, but
It's
I
good
guess
to have.
it's a little too late for that.
It's good to have good life plans for your cheekbones.
Yeah, well, I mean, use what you got, and you know, everybody. It's just one of those things. Joker's been one of
Yeah.
those characters that's been there the entire time, and of
Yeah,
course
definitely.
I've been a little crazy, but that's a different story for probably later. But you know, people are like, Coty, you kind of are, and I'm like, I grew up with the animated series and everything like that, and it's just if it's meant to be, it can't not happen. You're just like, you know, you just have to take that leap of faith. So.
What's the worst thing about cosplay?
Uh, the worst thing I would probably say is the drama of it all. You know, the whole he said, she
Yeah.
stole this, she took this from me, blah blah blah. And I'm like, we're supposed to be like a community and working
Yeah.
together to better each other, but like also human nature to be like, this is mine, yeah.
Yeah.
So like, I don't get upset when other people are cosplaying, uh, you know, the Joker, but I saw someone else cosplay. Like, he had my same exact suit and everything, and I'm like, okay, so which one are you doing? And he's just like, oh, just classic Joker.
Yeah.
What? Okay,
About
please
that.
leave. Yeah. You gonna learn today. Like, you know, it's just one of those things, like, if you're gonna do something, you should know all about it. Like,
Yeah.
I've seen people try to pass off as, you know, saying, it's almost false advertisement, you know, because people aren't understanding the full character, and they're just going out and doing, you know, what they believe is true to the character, and it's really not. It's like how I feel with Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn in the
Yeah.
new Suicide Squad. I'm just like, I like it, but, you know, it could have been done a lot better, more tastefully, I believe.
Yeah. Do you think it's important to be in character? Do you usually stay in character?
Well, I think there's a certain point with my character where you have to accept the reality around you. Because, yeah, I'd totally love to set the entire con on fire
Yeah,
and take all the cool stuff.
Definitely.
But you can't do that. Sort of revealing that I'm a sociopath, but I always encourage others. I see all these kids dress up as Batman or whatever, and you know, you have to embrace that. You know, you can't
Yeah.
just, you know, beat the crap out of them then and there
The
with a
really
crowbar.
small
You know?
5-year-old Batman off
Yeah,
the...
and just be like, oh, here, I have something for you, and it's a pearl necklace. You know,
Yeah.
you can't just like destroy their parents. No, like I feel like if it's something you love and you want others to, you know, share that, it's so, you know, you can't be that, you know. Of course, with older people, you know around you're dressed as the Joker, so they should almost expect that out of you, you know.
Yeah.
You can't just be like this normal lame dude who's got like amazing makeup and just be like, yeah,
Mhm.
it's okay, I guess.
Oh, yeah, that's...
No,
me.
you have to go there and give it your 100 or 10%, or else, you know, you are the character. You embody that when you put on the makeup, the disguise, with whatever character you do. Excuse me. That was weird. But it's that whole like cosplay thing. You can go to a Halloween costume and buy it, and then you know win a Halloween contest. That's something totally different. Cosplaying, I feel like, is more embodying that character and just going about, you know, about it that way. Of course, I've asked to, you know, everybody comes up to me and they're just like, do the laugh, and I'm like, I'm not going to do the laugh for you. The Joker wouldn't do that. If you came up to him, he'd probably like shoot you in the nuts and then be like, there, how's that laugh now? Like, you know,
Yeah,
he would.
probably.
Or when I see people miserable, I go up and I do more of the campy stuff. The whole aspect of the character, like, oh, can I get a picture for you and or with you? And then I'll be like, bang, and scare them. Like I'll poke their sides or something, and it's all fun and games. And then I always have like a card on me or anything, and that's usually how I get my word out. I have actual Joker cards that I print my
Nice.
page URL on, and I hand them out. And it's just those little things, those little theatrics that really sticks. Because I mean, yeah, he had a great costume, but his personality was crap. So that's all there
Yeah.
is to it. But if you're just like, dude, I swear to God, this guy was the Joker. Like,
Yeah.
that's
There's
one of those things where
definitely a
you have to
difference.
set yourself apart from.
Do you wear your cosplays once or many times?
Um, I have my favorite. Killing Joke's probably my favorite. It's probably the one I've worn the most. Simply because I don't see it out there a lot, and it's just, the creme de la creme of Jokers. Um, Anthony Misiano does similar with his Joker, but he's gotten to the point where he can have his own Joker. Um, but I'm not there yet, so I'm working on it, and I imagine it will be somewhere similar to his, but with my own different flares and takes. Um, Originally, I started off just cosplaying as the Joker, um, and I had different plans for it. So, like, each year would be a different Joker, and you know, it would save a lot, and but I've always wanted to take it to the next step and do that, and take that inspiration, but I've learned to do that with other characters rather than just my Joker. Because if people want me featured for my Joker, then I'll do it for my Joker. If they want me featured, I'll have different days.
Yeah.
I'll do it that way. So trying to break the dark path that I was kind of heading down with just staying in that mentality. Because I'm more of a method actor than anything when it comes to my cosplays. So I'll do the research. I'll I even had Heath Ledger's mannerisms down for when I did Heath Ledger's Joker. And every now and then I still do it. You'll catch me. I'll start licking the side of my cheek or whatever. Like that. And that's that's pretty much just something that I've taken on as a part of the character.
Yeah.
I've even done it with different Jokers, so it's fun.
Um, how active are you in the local cosplay community?
Um, I'm almost like a hobbit or a hermit. Um,
Yeah, same.
I
Habit.
I um I only let certain people in to what I'm really up to and doing. So if you see something that I haven't done yet, that means you've made it. Like I'm very distrusting. It's something that
Yeah.
I've dealt with my entire life, and
Yeah, I definitely stalked you a bit before
yeah,
messaging you.
right,
So.
exactly. So like if I don't really branch out and be like, "Oh my God, look what I'm doing 24/7." That's obnoxious.
Yeah.
I know it's almost like a baby cosplayer thing. Like when you're fresh and new into it, it's like a noob status of you like
Yeah.
posting every little
This is
thing,
my
just like
one third of the way down cosplay. You love it,
right,
guys?
right, exactly. But it's different if you're asking for opinions and stuff like
Yeah.
that. The reason I mainly competed was actually so I could get the judges' opinions and how to improve my own stuff and just learn from that. Look for what the judges are looking for. So,
How long does it usually take you to get ready?
oh Jesus. Um, well, it depends on which Joker I'm doing. With the new 52, the makeup is simpler, but the process takes just as much as my Killing Joke. So with my Killing Joke, first I do my hair. Hair's the first thing, and then I do my makeup, and then I go through and I contour and everything like that. and then I shade and contour again, and then go back over it. And so it usually takes about 2 hours. But if I'm in a rush, I can shave 15 minutes off, just after doing it so many times. But with my new 52, I don't know if you've actually seen the pictures, but it actually looks like my face has been ripped off.
Yeah.
I I so basically it's the same process, but I stop right around my face line, my jawline all the way up to like a bit of my forehead. And then what I do is I apply the like the scar putty and everything all the way around with liquid latex, so you can't really see the where it stops and ends, and I fade it out. And then I let that dry, and then I coat it over with the liquid latex so it makes a better foundation to paint on, and with the makeup and everything. And then I go over it with the white, and then I fill the rest in with the red. And I actually take like a coarse sponge, one of those like
Yeah.
Halloween crappy, like awful, like they almost like rip your skin apart, and which is basically what I'm doing, and ironic. And so I do the base coat of red, but then I dip that sponge in like a dark black or a darker red, and then I go throughout and actually do that actual like face, the muscle fibers and everything through that. I don't know if you've seen like some higher resolution photos, but the closer
Yeah.
you get, you can actually see almost the grain work.
I did stare at it for a while and was like, how did we do this? Honestly.
And then with the crevices, I shade even more, like from where the skin overlaps or where it looks like. I do it darker and I let it pool, and I almost use a lip lacquer too, so it gives it that shine, fresh look. So
Nice.
yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I did stare at the picture for like a long time, and I was like, fuck. Honestly. So yeah,
Gnarly,
that's
bro.
how I feel about that. Do cameras make you nervous now that we're on camera?
It's something you just get used to. Everybody's just like, just picture them with your underwear, and then I'm just like, okay, so now I'm sitting here nervous with a boner. Like, no, it doesn't work like that.
Yeah, true.
And that's usually for like every interview. So I'm just like, okay, so just focus. I think it's more about focusing on the matter at hand rather than, oh my god, there's this
Yeah.
machine in my face, like, oh, I need a paper bag to breathe in.
Yeah.
Um,
Or like when you stand there for a picture and then like 6 other people walk over and
oh
you're
my
stuck
god,
there for like 20
New York
minutes.
City, 4 days of Joker. So that intense grin for 4 whole days,
Yeah.
you are so wrecked after it. And there have been times where I've worn the new 52 mask for a picture, and I've still done that crazy smile underneath, and I'm like, I'm wearing a mask, you retard.
Yeah.
But like,
You just get used to it.
yeah,
Uh,
it's fun. It's worth it.
Do you go to events first thing as soon as they open, or do you show up like fashionably late, like I do, like 3 in the afternoon?
Well, okay. So there have been times where I've been kind of shit-faced,
Yeah.
and I'm just like, ugh, I don't wanna. So like, I have all the info. I download like the New York City app or whatever. I have the schedule down, so I'm like, okay, I can miss this. I can miss this. I don't really need to see this.
Yeah.
I've already seen Kevin Conroy 70 times. I think I can skip it this time. Although if it was Mark Hamill, it'd be a different story. So it's all about prioritizing your entire con rather than just But it's good to still take it day by day, and just like, you have to let go of some things at some point, because the scheduling is so crazy. So I'm already in this full 3-piece suit with a full leather jacket underneath, and then underneath all of that, I have like 6 layers of makeup, and then a hat.
Yeah.
A full like
I definitely.
hat. So running from one end of the con to the other can be a little tiring, and of course you begin to work up a sweat, and sweating and makeup don't really work. So luckily I don't really sweat. that's just one of those things. I've
Yeah,
been
I'm really
very
glad that most convention centers keep their convention
right.
center like 40 degrees. I'm like, thank
Yes.
you, bless you.
Yeah. Well, and then there's also that one guy that shows up at
Yeah,
every con who just smells like he hasn't showered ever in his entire life
that's
or
probably,
shaved. And like I'm
yeah.
just like one of my friends cosplays as the Old Spice guy and I'm like, "Dude, where
Oh
were
my god,
you?"
I love that guy. I've never met him, but I love that guy.
He's awesome.
So
He's one
you
of my
know.
best buds.
But yeah, honestly, where were you, Old Spice guy?
Like,
But
dude, come on.
yeah, I mean, I definitely
And it's almost like we have our like own like secret identities, so it's really cool.
I admire your ability to wear 1,000 pounds of clothing in a crowded room. It's fun.
Well, I've always enjoyed suits. I've always liked how it's almost kept me like feeling secure in a sense because it is tight. It is, it's
Yeah.
proper. And then you also look like a fucking boss when, you're in there, you're in your prime. That is your killing floor. Like,
Honestly. Yeah, I mean, it definitely looks better when you're dressed up. Like,
yeah, I mean, you know, it's, I mean, I've thought about actually, just what if, plastic surgery could just make me look like that all the time, which
um,
would be absolutely amazing, but I
one
can't.
time when Keith was cosplaying the doctor, he had
Mhm,
like the jacket and all
mhm.
that, and me, I whine a lot.
Yeah.
So I was like in
Well,
the
you're a woman. It's
yeah,
the second
I
X
really do,
chromosome.
honestly. But we were like in the convention center, which is 40 degrees, and I'm like, I'm cold.
Yeah.
So like he took off the jacket and gave it to me, and like walking out of the convention center, many people took pictures of me.
Mhm.
So a suit jacket can kind of do a lot because they're like, oh, the doctor, and I'm like, I was cold.
Pretty
um,
much.
but yeah, the suit jacket can definitely
Mhm.
do a lot despite how heavy they are and
Well,
annoying.
I think, I don't know if you've seen me like during cons, but I always have that huge bag on my side.
Yeah,
That is all of my props. That is like deodorant. That is my backup makeup kit. That is my emergency bag. Like that's my own little suitcase. But now that I'm dating a Dula Dent cosplayer, I'm just like, here, hold this.
yeah.
She has become my bag bitch.
Yeah, I usually try to work out cosplays that
But
have
she's
bags.
amazing. So.
Um, so, do you often meet new people because of your cosplays, and is it annoying?
I've definitely met a lot of new people since, I started cosplaying. I probably wouldn't have met you or, the friends I associate with now. So I feel like, with your whole life, no matter what you're doing, if you do what you love and, you're going out of your way to do that and it isn't affecting anybody, you're bound to like, it's almost like you're setting up your own pyramid scheme, You're
Yeah,
only going to meet people who admire that what you're doing and you're just going to relate more and create better friends. Be like,
yeah.
"Oh, yeah, I love Sailor Moon, so, I'm going to go to like everything Sailor Moon." And then you're going to meet other people who do everything Sailor Moon and you're just like, "Oh my god, like you get it." It's just like one of those
Yeah,
things. And that's honestly how I met my girlfriend, so.
yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Do you attend the cosplay dances? I don't even know if there are those around here, so it's kind of no.
Um
Okay.
Genericon does. I
Oh,
know.
really? Is it like 10-year-old?
Well, basically, Genericon is overrun by 10-year-olds.
Yeah,
So, yes, to some point. So that's something you also have to be very careful about in the
yeah.
cosplay community because you're like, oh, you're a furry, cool. Let's get it on. And then you're just
Ugh,
like, oh,
if in hell,
you're
no.
8. Sorry.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to jail.
Yeah, that was the problem I had with Adri at Genericon. She was Raven last year,
Mhm.
and she was like walking, and some guy like looked at her and was like, "Oh, the Ravens this year are really nice." And I was just like, "Back off, dude." He was
Yeah,
like, "Okay."
yeah.
And I'm like, "I love that I look like a
I know.
mom at
Yeah,
conventions."
yeah. But I mean, there's that certain point where you just have to. You don't know these people.
Yeah,
Um,
get ages first.
right, exactly. Just get to know anybody first before anything.
Yeah,
Like that's like a lot of people are just like, oh, let's hook up. Yeah, that's how you end up in a prison cell.
yeah.
No, 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 no.
Outside of a cosplay
Like
dance.
Tyler the Creator, I don't know
Yeah.
if you heard about
Oh,
that.
I
He was
haven't.
talking to like a 14-year-old and he didn't even know because she looked
Oh
like she was like
no.
23.
There was a girl in the bathroom at Kineticon who was crying.
Hmm.
And we go in there and we're like, oh, what's wrong with me and a bunch of other girls from the
Hmm.
convention? And she's like, I'm 13 and I snuck out to go to this and I said I was at Jessica's house and my mom has to come pick me up and she's gonna kill me, and we're like, it's gonna be fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, we don't know what to tell you because I guess some guy like felt her out. But yeah, so cosplay dances can be a disaster.
Yeah.
They're fun when you like
Well, that and then like
don't.
nobody is as they seem.
Yeah.
Like they go to escape who they are. That's honestly what basically cosplaying is. Except me, I'm sort of bridging that gap because this is who I am, and
Yeah.
this is
Nice.
who I want to be, which is kind of scary because I dress up like a homicidal maniac for fun.
I mean,
But
it's okay. You're welcome to come to my house anytime today, like when no one's here. I love inviting homicidal maniacs in.
sweet. But
So,
I'm really a teddy bear once you get to know me. So.
who's homicidal teddy bear?
Yeah, I mean
Um,
like not like Chucky, but more like I don't know,
I
like
feel
like Five Nights at Freddy's.
Yeah, yeah, all right. I feel like I asked you the last question I had like a million times
God.
about getting lots of photos. You
Yeah.
constantly hate being stopped.
I don't mind it. The one thing that gets me is when people like they don't truly understand what I'm doing. They're just like, "Oh, are you a street performer?" And I'm like, "Well, do you have any singles?"
Yeah,
Like,
honestly,
no.
like, hey, so
Yeah, I'm a cosplayer. Well, what's cosplay? Like, I'm just like, okay, so you know how like you dress up like your favorite character for Halloween? Yeah. Well, why do you do that? Well, because I love the character. And I'm like, okay, I do that at cons. That's the only difference, you know.
yeah,
Except I'm not buying a Halloween costume. That's that's one of those things. Like, if it's your first time, like I can understand, going and getting like a Halloween costume and something and just, trying it out. I'm all for that. But like at a certain point, you can't really call yourself a cosplayer if you're just buying like crappy store bought, like some Chinaman, like some child made this in like Croatia,
yeah,
like
yeah, definitely. There's got to be like some quality.
I feel like you should be the one, like I'm all for like finding pieces online and everything like
Yeah.
that, and because that is, it's such a limited area up here. I can't go out and have a custom purple suit made. I don't
Yeah.
have those resources.
Yeah, for context, we live in upstate New York. There's nothing here except heroin
Heroin,
and
cows,
trees.
cheese,
Some trees. Maybe
lots
like,
of trees.
yeah,
Um,
more than 10.
yeah, but like
Yeah.
literally cons are what have been keeping me sane. Um, or are they? No.
Yeah,
I don't think I've
or-
ever really been sane now that I think of it. So I don't know.
Yeah, I'm out of questions, but I do kind of have one that I
Okay.
didn't write down.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the Jared Leto Joker? Okay.
Oh. I am very, very, very hesitant because each trailer that has come out has looked progressively like shit.
Yeah.
I like how they're going off the New 52 thing. That aspect was beautiful, like cinematically, like how he just like fell into that with her and everything. But I'm also not understanding why DC is selling out and making these guys like thugs when they're
Yeah.
classic criminals. They are incredibly smart. They are incredibly insane. And, they know what they're doing. So, I feel like they're almost trying to make them into heroes rather than what
Yeah.
they actually are.
I
Because
think
the
they're trying to
Suicide
go
Squad
the
is
like
probably
Avengers route with it.
well, that's what they're doing. They're trying to keep up with Disney's Avengers, the happy, campy,
Yeah.
and DC has always been the darker stories.
Yeah.
Like, I get Deadpool was, horrific and everything, but at the same time, you have to realize he's an incredibly, like, obnoxious ass. So, like,
Yeah.
it destroys, like, his entire background. Everybody
Yeah.
just knows him as this obnoxious
It's
Spider-Man.
really funny. Like all the shirts say like
Yeah.
chimichanga and stuff on it, like
Like,
that. And it's like, yes,
My
so dark.
store at FYE
So
has
dark.
just been like exploded in Harley Quinn and Deadpool, and I'm
Yeah.
like, I actually ship those two
People
together.
love black and red. They love it.
Right. Well, ugh, like, let me just, yeah. If that's the only reason why you're shipping two people together, you really need to look at your relationship goals. Um, but like Jared Leto, I don't have any doubts about his acting skills. I have doubts on the directors and the producers that want him to be like this. You know, it's the same thing that happened with Ben Affleck and Daredevil.
Yeah.
He could have actually done that so much better, if not equally as good as the actual like Netflix series. Like I see that in Ben Affleck. I know he can do it. But the directors wanted him to be like that. He was handed a crappy script. He was, so I'm more upset with DC than I am Jared Leto because he was just signed up for the role. He wasn't put.
Yeah.
They put him in the costume.
Have you read any of the method acting stuff about him?
Yeah. Him. I don't know. I just feel like he's on meth.
Okay.
With
yeah.
with a lot of that
We'll
stuff.
just say it. He's on meth.
Yeah. Although one of the things that I did admire about the design was the metal teeth, but I feel like a lot of people are just like, oh, those are just grills. Joker's got grills now, guys.
Yeah.
I think we need to reassess our entire like society right now. I get it. Batman's punched out his teeth so many times that eventually he would probably just go with that, but.
Yeah.
Batman's just gonna punch him out again, so might as well make him something that are easy to put in. But that's not the point of the Joker. The Joker goes to those depths. He holds himself at, a respectable level, but what he does, as he is honestly a gentleman. He is, but how he holds himself, how he dresses, how he goes about business, it's very cutthroat. It's very, very 60s.
Yeah.
Well, basically modern empire, everything. He is the epitome of chaos and everything like that. So it was almost of what's it called? A reflection of humanity. A lot of people don't understand the psychiatrics behind that. His point, him and Batman are like the same characters on just the opposite sides of the spectrum.
Yeah.
They have had, these extreme traumatic events. But what they've done with it is Batman's just like, I'm never gonna let this happen to anybody again. And Joker's just like, well, why just me? Let's make it unfair for everybody.
Yeah.
The
Bowser Revolution.
Pretty much. Pretty much. And a lot of people don't grasp that anymore. Everybody just sees them on the screen as just bad guy, good guy. Joker's not exactly a bad guy. He's just really good at getting his point across.
Yeah.
And people, it's so good that people forget that. Like, they don't realize it. They just focus on, like, oh, this, he's done so many terrible things to so many people. Life has done way worse to many more people. Like, he's just, chosen to be that symbol. So, that's where I stand on that.
I mean, I'm gonna watch it.
I'm gonna watch it, but the problem is I'm
Smith.
actually very scared that, because I'm dressed as the Joker, I've been kicked out of malls. I've been kicked out of,
Oh, it's like
events.
rough with theaters ever since the whole Bane thing.
That was actually all the media's doing. I actually looked into all of that. He actually didn't claim to be the Joker at all. His hair was dyed red, and the psychiatric reports, I actually looked at the psychiatric reports, and they didn't clarify him as insane. Simply because what he was thinking was actually rationalized. He said to fight overpopulation, you must kill 2 people in order to have 1 child. And that would, eventually...
That's a really strange way of approaching it. Just
right. Well...
in the theater, just...
Well, what he did, I'm not saying is right or justified in any
I know.
means, but his how he justified it
Yeah.
is, is quite that. And the media was just like, oh, we could totally blow this out of
Yeah.
proportion and start paranoia.
Always
I
do.
remember watching the news and everything, and I'm like, okay, how is he the Joker? His hair's dyed red, and then he's full out and said, just like, yeah, I'd have nothing to do with the Joker or anything. That was all, like, media. They hyped it. We're living in a reality where you're not sure what's on the TV is actually real or not. I mean, how many zombie apocalypse movies and TV shows are there right now?
All of them?
Yes,
Every
exactly.
single one?
Exactly.
Every show? Yeah.
And then if they're not, they have something to do with the government. So it's just one of those kind of scary things where you're just like, is the Illuminati real? Ah,
Yeah.
It's become, a corporation rather than a nation.
True. So yeah, this was great. We'll have to chat sometime about serial killers alternately, because I feel like that could be fun too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely for a different time.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
This was
Happy
super
to do
fun.
it.